That like first flag, give it a color. That wasn't yellow or orange. That was a dark crimson red flag dripping with blood. We should have just pulled the plug there. Yeah, you're gonna lie about just injecting people with crystal meth?
I've seen both sides of it. I've seen the side of you've got a leader that will step in when this is going on, whether that means firing that client. And then I've seen the other side of that where, it's just like, hey, they're paying us good money. Just suck it up, deal with it. Growing up, my dad was a baseball coach for 30 plus years, and he always used to tell us, and now I tell the kids this that I coach for because I coach my son's baseball team. The most important play in baseball is the next play. The ball will find you. And it absolutely happens.
It's the best reminder I can give myself. On to the next one. They call it the past for a reason because it's behind you. You passed it. Keep on moving.
Life's a Pitch is a podcast where we talk about all the shit that actually happens when you're building a business, leading people, and just trying to live your damn life all at the same time. Welcome to Life's a Pitch. I am joined by a good friend of mine, John Tsourakis. John co-owns OYOVA, a digital agency that launched nearly 1,000 websites since 2008 and earned multiple Inc. 5000 and Clutch Global Agency Awards. He's also founded and exited 2 other companies, a healthcare business in 2023 and a mastermind for agency owners in 2024. He also co-hosts the Business is Bullshit podcast with James Hornick and myself, and does his best every episode to try and say something so inappropriate that we ultimately get canceled, which will probably happen someday. What is up, John?
What's up, brother? Man, that is long. Dude,
I know. I got to
really
cut that
research.
down.
Man,
I got to cut that down. Nobody cares that you're on a board. I'm going to go ahead and cut that out.
No, they don't. I actually care a lot about those kids, but yeah, they don't care about them.
Awesome. Hey, thank you for joining me, John. So let's jump right into it, dude. Give me a 30-second rundown on what the average day in the life is for you right now.
Wake up at 3:30 in the morning, can't go back to sleep, put on a documentary, alarm goes off at 7:30, and then get to it. Now, all joking aside, essentially, I set up everything the day before. I'm really big on calendaring. That's something I learned years ago. So I know for the most part what it is that I'm working on. I have a really good team that's under me that handles all of the things that get in the way. So day in is usually checking with my team, seeing if any leads or sales opportunities, came in overnight and seeing what the sales assistant worked out, and then looking at whatever deals that we have in the workflow that we need to move them forward. That's predominantly what my day is. And then the other is looking for other opportunities, which may be other acquisitions or other things that, would, help enhance our business model.
Awesome. And I guess that kind of dovetails into my next question is, what are we working on right now? I know you're always, I know you pretty well, but my mom and dad, who are the only 2 people listening to this, don't know you that well. So why don't you give me kind of what's the next big thing?
Yeah. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. The next big thing is, so really just kind of figuring out, one is how do we change our business model or find a better business model? The agency business model is it's really tough, right? So the other is looking at either acquiring some other companies that would help us expand the agency. But the other side is we're also exploring and getting really close to acquiring other companies that we've actually worked with, to essentially just put in a gnarly technology engine, sales engine, marketing engine, and just grow that bad boy. So those are the things that are occupying the most of my time, and exploring those has been a lot of fun.
So let's go back to talking about agencies. The agency world is tough right now, which I run an agency, and I agree with you. Are these acquisitions or these additional add-ons potentially something that's combating the challenge that's going on right now in the agency space?
Yeah, it's mainly and I think a lot of people should look at it this way if they're looking for an acquisition. What is something that your customer would absolutely desire that you could instill in your company and give them, right? And if there's another agency that's offering that, or you're losing business to that, maybe that's something that you should look at.
Awesome. So OYOVA, tell me a little bit about OYOVA. I gave you a lengthy intro to the company, but who's your ICP, and what are some of the biggest challenges you're having right now with the agency and growing it?
Well, I never thought you'd ask, Jared. So when it comes to OYOVA, we're the best of a technology company and a marketing agency. When you put those together, no, we are a marketing company and technology. We literally merged two companies together to create this. So we merged these two companies together, right? And what looked good on paper was like, oh man, we're going to take best in class marketing, we're going to take best in class technology, so app development, web design, web development, and it's just going to be the bee's knees. What we didn't realize was that some companies, like the further you go up, like the food chain, like, no, dude, we just want marketing. Like we don't want your web development service. It's a nice to have. And then vice versa. Like, no, you guys are building our application. And the other thing too is there's a liability in that. So you work with a company, they're, let's say that they're $500 billion a year, and then you are managing something on the technology side, their website, or you built it or something. They don't want to risk you messing up on their SEO or some ads or something where they would then lose their vendor for the website. So in that sense, we essentially have two divisions. We have our marketing and we have our web development. Our ICP is any company that's typically over probably like 3.5 million that has a heartbeat and they're good to work with and they pay their bills on time. I wish it was more than that. Yeah, we work with a lot of different niches and whatnot, but I'm not going to go down that path. Ultimately, yeah, that's all it is, man. If there's a need, they pay their bills on time and they're good people, we're happy to work with.
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody in the agency space has probably signed on clients that they, in hindsight, wish they wouldn't have.
Yep.
So when you talk about good people, any good stories that you can share where you made the decision to move forward with this organization to work with, and you knew in the back of your mind, probably not the right call here, but let's see if we can fix something and help mold this into a good relationship.
Yeah. So, this is past 7 years, so I guess I can tell the story. The statute of limitations for you kids out there. We worked with a national weight loss company, international, you could probably say, and they when we were digging in, so that's when we were doing a lot of brand work. We actually had like the full package for this one.
A lot of backing up there. Are you outside in a construction zone right now?
Oh, dude, sorry, man. Yeah, the monster truck rally's going on outside. Do I need to like mute in between, or is it that?
No, you're good. I'm just fucking with you.
All right, so this episode's gonna be so chopped up. All right, so we're working with a national or international weight loss. Dude, they're really getting on the gas out there. I mean, that guy's just fucking.
All right.
Yeah, we might have to do this again. So we're working with an international weight loss company, and we're doing the branding. And so doing a lot of the discovery work, the team uncovers that like all these things that they claimed were helping you lose weight was completely untrue when you're actually going into their clinics and they're injecting you with speed. Right? So, yeah. So it was just really weird. And then we broached that subject like, hey, look, like you're saying it's these supplements, you're saying it's this like regimen and all that, but ultimately you're injecting them with speed and then an appetite suppressant. I was like, why don't we just, say that? They're like, no, we can't say that. That is the moment that we should have just pulled the plug. It was one of the worst engagements ever. To the tune, like we lost so much money, dude. Like they were so bad. They would not let us out of the agreement. We had certain things that they're like, no, you have to finish this. They were really cruel to the team that was working on it. So, if somebody had a takeaway there, that like first flag, give it a color, right? That wasn't yellow or orange. That was a dark crimson red flag dripping with blood. And we should have just pulled the plug there. Yeah, you're going to lie about just injecting people with fucking crystal meth? Yeah, this isn't going to help us out down the road, So yeah, I'd say that.
Well, you brought up treating people like shit, your team like shit. And I think that that's something that is so important today because I've been part of teams where I've seen both sides of it. I've seen the side of you've got a leader that will step in, whether it's the president, the CEO of a company, that will step in when this shit's going on and squash it before it escalates into anything else, whether that means firing that client or having a really hard conversation and being very blunt with that client. And then I've seen the other side of that where, it's just like, hey, they're paying us good money. Just suck it up, deal with it. If it gets bad, we'll have a conversation about it. So I'm sure you've seen that as well.
Yeah, I think, I mean, if you know your team well enough and then there's somebody that moans and complains, then you need to get rid of that person. If you can't trust the feedback loop. We worked with a friend's agency. We helped them with one of their clients on SEO. And this is a guy that he sold an agency for, I don't know, between 20 and like $30 million years ago. And then he started another agency a few years later and just rapidly grew that, right? Very, very accomplished, cool guy. We're still friends. But we can't work together because we're working on an account, and the way that he interacts with his team is not the way that we interact with our team. Like, he'll say, "This is stupid. What were you thinking?" Like, very not gentlemanly, right? Where you're just like, "Hey, how about you look at it from this way?" Not that we're like super soft on our team, but at the same time, we don't want to give them anything, fucking traumatic at the same time, like calling them fucking idiots or something. It's not appropriate. I had to have a conversation with him because one of my employees was starting to break down and said, "Hey, this I don't really want to work with this guy." I said, "Send me the emails." And I looked at him and then I had to call him up. I was like, "Dude, you can't talk to her this way." And I was like, "If you want to talk to somebody like that," I was like, "you can talk to me like that." I was like, "But you can't talk to my team like that." He's like, "Well, then I don't think we're going to be able to work together." I was like, "Okay, then we're not going to be able to work together." I mean, it's that simple. Like, you have to set that boundary though. And if you're a good leader, you're going to protect and do that.
Yeah. Boundaries. So let's segue over to, do you turn it off? Can you turn it off? So when most people just turn the work engine off, when most people are, doing stuff after 5 o'clock, after 6 o'clock, are you still working through the night? What's the after hours look like for you?
That was it's just trying to like refresh and recharge. Yeah, if there's two types of people, right? Especially founders, entrepreneurs, and so on and so forth. There's grinders and there's sprinters, right? I'm a sprinter. I'm not a grinder. Even in running, when I played football or whatever, like, dude, I could sprint, but dude, I'm not a marathon guy. Dude, running a 5K to me, I mean, dude, I'd rather, there's a lot of things I'd rather do than that. But when it comes to like just crushing a sprint, like, yeah, I can do that, but then I have to recharge. So yeah, when it comes to tonight, I'm rarely checking my email, but I let people know if they're important enough, they'll have my phone number and they can text me and I'll take care of something. So I think recharging and refreshing is very important.
You started the agency back in 2008, which is a lifetime ago by most entrepreneurial standards. What was is there something that happened in your career where you were just like, fuck it, I'm not working for anybody else? Like, what's the story? Every founder has a story of why they went off on their own and didn't want to work for anybody else.
So I think I may have told this before, but yeah, I worked for this other marketing company, and at the time, these consultants had like bought in. The guys that had initially started the company that I was working with, they'd kind of taken a backseat, right? And they're going to let these other consultants like run this company. And this new CEO was announced, and he had undermined, one of the original owners that was a friend of mine. So I was kind of like, all right, a little Machiavellian play. And I was pretty young at the time. I think I was like 26. So in any case, we're walking down this hallway because I'm about to have a marketing meeting. So I'm head of, all the marketing and sales and whatnot. And then I have my like team behind me. And then he stops me in the hallway, this new CEO. And he takes, he's like, "Hey, John." He's like, "I got to ask you a question." And I'm like, "All right." And I got my whole team behind me, like, 5 or 6 other people. And I was like, "What's up?" He said, "There was a mailer late in Ohio." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "I'll get to that like after this meeting." And I was like, happy to take a look at that. He's like, no. Grabs his marker, pokes it in my chest. He's like, "You're going to draw it right here on this board right now." And I was like looking at my team and I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Right. And they're looking at me like, "Dude, don't do it. Don't do it." So I looked back at him and I was like, "Go fuck yourself. You draw it." And I gave him the marker back. And he's like, "Yeah, I want you to bleep out his name too." And he's like, what? And that's the day I quit, and that's the day I started my agency. And I think ultimately it wasn't one moment that led to that. I was working like 20 hours a day. I was completely unappreciated. I was doing everything that I possibly could to move the needle forward, and nothing was happening. I think it was like less than a year, that company was out of business. They weren't listening to like any of the things that I was saying. Not that I'm some kind of oracle or soothsayer, but that was the moment where we only know when it's enough, when it's more than enough.
Ooh, it's a good line, buddy. I like that one. What's one lesson that you've taught others in life or in work that you think more people really need to hear?
Let things go. Don't hold on to things. Like literally, you gotta just let them go, or it's just gonna hold you back.
Yeah. I I struggle with that one a little bit. I think
Yeah,
that throughout
we
my
all do.
career, like I've had chips. Like I'm a big chip on shoulder person, which is many people have told me is unhealthy, but there's the other side of that where people say like I like working with people that have chips on their shoulder, right? I mean, look at like this podcast is called Life's a Pitch.
Yeah,
And think about pitchers in baseball. Dude, pitchers in baseball have long memories. Like that's one of my favorite things about pitchers in baseball is that you can be a pitcher and you can uh, give up a home run to a dude that pimps the walk, like flips the bat, walks around the bases slowly. That pitcher, like that memory of that guy doing that, sits with that pitcher. And he may not get him the next time they play each other. He may not get him that season, but at some point it may come next year. That dude's going to get one to the ear. Like I want
the,
that pitcher on my team.
agreed. But I the way I would frame that is I look at that as learning from some form of a mistake because that's over in the performance column, right? It's when he made a mistake or something happened that you can't beat yourself up and hold on to that. You gotta let that go. I always find it the most impressive with the founders, entrepreneurs, hell, even employees, team members, the people that like there was some crazy blunder that happened or some awful failure and or multiple, and then they kept going, right? Like that to me is that's the coolest. I met a guy the other day. He's super cool. Dude, he tells me a story, and it's like every amazing thing that could happen, like happened, right? It's like, yeah, dude, started this company out of high school, and then next thing you know, we started this other thing, and then it got funded, and we got to start this other thing, and I was like, dude, this is like the dream. He's like, I know, it's crazy. Uh, dude, awesome guy, you know, and I love that happened for him. I can't learn from that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You
Yeah.
know, I mean, great business model, just super good guy, and I hope the best from him. But there's the other, you know, I mean, take the lady that started Spanx, dude. Like, I mean, dude, she crushed. She hustled. Like, she had to like do all these things. You know, other things weren't going right. Or you know, the lady that wrote like Harry Potter, right, get turned down by like 13 people. Like the people that you know don't give up, kicked in their teeth. You know, just going after it. There's a lot that can be learned from those people, and there's a lot that you have to let go to be able to keep moving. And that
Yeah.
to me is just admirable and impressive as it comes.
Yeah. And guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to throw another baseball analogy here.
All right, let's do
But
it.
but this is I've talked about this before, and it's something I learned from my dad growing up. My dad was a baseball coach for 30 plus years, and he always used to tell us, and now I tell the kids this that I coach for because I coach my son's baseball team, is the most important play in baseball is the next play. So similar to what you said, like you got to let it go because the ball will find you is what I tell them. And that's what I was taught. And it absolutely happens. Like a kid gets down, a ball goes between his legs. It's inevitable that within the next inning, that ball will find that person again. And you need to learn from it and make the play the next time it comes to you. And if you're constantly thinking and worrying and like pouting about like what failure just happened, then you're going to absolutely do it again the next time the ball finds you. So I absolutely appreciate the short memory and let things go. I just think it's easier said than done. And
Yeah,
I think that
totally.
the reps are what's important with that. Like you need to go through the reps to understand that doesn't fucking matter anymore. Like let that go. But I still have to tell myself that all the time.
Dude, I have to tell you, yeah, absolutely. But it's the best reminder I can give myself. It's just you know on to the next one. And
Yeah.
you know, there's all kinds of. I'm big on mantras, right? You know, they call it the past for a reason because it's behind you. You passed it. Keep on moving. right? I think that's really very important, especially when it's in sales or opportunities or dealing with rejection and cold calls. Like if you let that person that you called get up in your head, especially back in the day, and whatever they said to you, if you actually add meaning to that and you ingest that, and that's now a part of your identity, you're asking for failure.
Oh yeah, dude, the cold calling days. We go down a rabbit hole
dude.
and have calls on that.
Dude.
Like we used to have so much fun. You have to have fun doing that. Like back in the day when we were pounding 100+ dials every day, like if you didn't gamify that or have fun with it, then you were miserable. If you took everything that somebody said to you on the phone as like personal, then you probably were out of sales within the first like few months of actually being in it.
So there was this guy, I would call him. He was one of the first week I started having to do cold calls. This was like this guy called, and he was in Rhode Island, right? And he had this like thick Rhode Island accent. And I called him, and I can't remember what we were selling at the time. But he's like, "You fucking loser." He's like, "Go fuck yourself." He's like, don't ever call here again. He's like, "Are you out of your fucking mind? You know you were calling?" And he like hangs up. And I was like, "Oh, geez." And go to my boss, and I tell him, I was like, "Hey, this is what happened," or whatever. He's like, "Call that guy every day." So, dude, I don't know if I called him every day, but it's like every couple of days I would call him. He would always answer. And man, he would just lay into me every time. It's like, all right, now it's the game. You know what I mean? Now it's the game we're going to play. After a while, I mean, I don't think I ever really like won him over, but like he had like softened up. He's like, all right, let's just get it over with. And, but yeah, years ago, I mean, so I think ultimately making it a game is very important. Dude, I did some cold calls the other day just for fun.
You did?
I did. Dude, I got
cold. Just picked it up?
Cold.
Did you catch anybody?
I did. Yeah, I got one.
Let's hear it.
I can't. Dude, it's so good. Like the new line, I'll tell you offline. The line that I came up with that actually got to this person, I was like, holy shit, dude. Like I could run a hotel room.
Why can't you say, like, nobody's listening? My dad and my mom are not going to cold call somebody and use this tip.
All my competitors, man. I'm one person that gives a lot to my competitors.
What did you tell me? I was going to say, what did you tell me? What did you tell me it's working right now? The two things that are working right now.
Be paranoid, hide everything, don't give anything. No, I told you, give something your competitor would give their left arm to get from a content standpoint. This one's a little fresh though. I'll tell you offline. It's
all right. Fair enough. Well, good for you to cold call. I did it a few years ago. I'm just not feeling it anymore. Cold calling. I did it and it was fine. But it was
refreshing.
People picked up their phone. Somebody picked up their phone when you called?
Yes. And then we had this other, it was in this space for another line of business. I don't want to say what it is because actually the product might take off. And I was like, okay, so we developed this software and I was going to see if these companies wanted to buy it, right? Because we had developed it for one. So I started, I was like, you know what? I had my assistant put together a list. I was like, give me like 20, and I gave her some states. And I was like, I'm just going to go ahead and go. Out of 10 cold calls, I got to 6 decision makers. And dude, it's out there. Like, I mean,
gatekeepers, those still exist.
I got right through
went straight cell phone.
Yeah, I got right through the gatekeepers. Got right through the gatekeepers. It's all.
Did you call
in that
cell phones or at the office?
Most of them were at the office, I would say.
Okay.
But it's all in that first question that you ask. And I forgot about that. I was like, oh man. And if that question is like super genuine and it just clicks with them, they're going to just put you right through. And that's the thing. If everybody's doing one thing right now, this is just marketing 101. I mean, you could go back to like whatever David Ogilvy would say, right? Whatever your competitors are doing, do the opposite. If everybody's doing like cold email and doing, whatever all these digital things are, which my company does, by the way, okay, that means there's a huge opening for direct mail and cold calling and probably fucking fax blasts, right? Mm-hmm. So it's just using all these other modalities to get in touch with somebody. Those still exist, and they're worth exploring depending on what you're selling.
Yeah. The first questions.
Make sure it's a hit.
I think we used to tell people that it was ask people if they had time. I don't even know. There was so much that we used to do. There's so many gurus out there that tell you.
But that's the problem. If you're looking at what the gurus are doing, you're probably going to fail because everybody else is doing exactly what they're doing. I'm not telling you to, go onto some mountain and, try to find some original thought. But I think, all right, just dig in. If you were that person on the other line, what would you want to hear, and what would it take to have you pass over the other the old blower, as the kids call it?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I don't think enough people do cold call me anymore, and they don't leave voicemails when they do cold call. I know say a lot of
call
calls
from your cell phone.
Yeah, 100%. But I don't. But people don't leave voicemails anymore. Like we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Like where you can at least see the message. You can read the messages coming up, and if it's like, "Hey, don't call me. I'm going to shoot you over an email." Like you're subconsciously going to recognize that email when it comes in, and you may give it a little bit longer of a look than you would a typical bullshit salesy email that comes to your inbox. I don't know. I just leave voicemails. That would be my why I don't understand why people don't do it.
And voicemails come over as a text message now.
I know. It's crazy. All right, fun question. So we're gonna go. This is a curveball I'm gonna throw out to you right now. Ready?
Yeah,
all right.
sure.
What is something that you love talking about that drives everyone else in your life crazy? Yet you continue to go back to it. That's it?
No, I'm kidding. Bleep that out. It probably health and nutrition.
Health and nutrition.
Yeah, because I'm super disciplined on like what I eat and consume, to the point where people are just like, "You're a freak of nature. Like you're an animal." Like I don't even want to hear about your gut health. Yeah.
So you talk about gut health a lot.
Not necessarily gut health. Just people don't realize like what they're consuming, and they don't.
Here we go, and I'm done. All right, moving on. No, let's hear it. I want to hear the spiel and let you know if I would be turned off by this. Go. People don't know what they're consuming. I agree with that.
You want to lose weight?
We don't look
big,
at
fat fucking pig. How about you stop throwing that in your mouth? No.
Yeah, but I mean, yet we continue to eat it because it tastes good, but we don't look at what's inside of it.
Totally.
What it's doing to our bodies.
So, and that's the main thing. Like if you since I was probably in like my early 30s, I journaled like what I was eating. And like I know like how I react to it, and you can really slim down and figure out like what works for you and like what doesn't. And in doing that, you'll kind of turn yourself into a Ferrari, like a high performance machine. And it really annoys people, especially when you're going out to dinner with them. You know, if you don't eat dairy or nuts or any of these other things, and they're trying to convince you all the outdated health benefits of them, and you're like, you kind of just start picking things apart. So.
Yeah, that's fun.
No, it's not really. It's actually brutal. But anyway, you asked, and
that's it. Okay, that's a good one. All right, we're kind of coming down to the end of it, so let's do what we like to call extra innings. When I say we, I mean I like to call extra innings because it flows along with the whole life's a pitch thing. All right, so what this is I'm going to give you a few questions, and you've been on other podcasts, so you know the rapid fire answers and responses. All right, good? Ready to go?
Let's do it.
All right. What's the last thing that genuinely scared you?
Last thing that genuinely scared me, not making our quarter. That's kind of a cheap out one. It's the last thing that genuinely scared me. But I thought I had appendicitis. And actually, you said your mom had it. And like everybody was like, "Oh man, I had it." That really scared me. So I went to an ER-like urgent care center, and they took care of me, and they told me.
Well, hopefully you didn't have to wait
sissy. No,
10 hours. And my mom was on the news, and my dad were like, the appendix burst because she waited there. Dude, she waited there for 10 hours in the emergency room. Did I tell you the story?
No, dude, your mom's actually
my dad kept saying we need somebody to come see her because she was in so much pain. And this is not rapid fire right now, but she was in so much pain. And he just kept going, and they didn't have a specialist to see her. Then finally they called her in after 4 hours. They did the x-ray, waited another 4 hours. And then finally they said, okay, hey, it looks like we need to get her back ASAP. And then on the way back, it exploded. And the doctor that went in there and had the surgery on her said it looked like a bomb went off inside. Wow. She ended up having to stay in the hospital for 6 nights because of it, because all these infections started happening around it. Yeah, crazy.
Oh man, I didn't realize all that. Yeah, you said they would burst. Anyway, so yeah,
that's a good one.
Well, it's a real one.
Yeah, I apologize for derailing that with a mom and dad story who are listening to this right now. Appreciate that.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
All right, What is the one tool that you use at work that you cannot live without? AI, software, something that you use.
I mean, my calendar. I live and die by my calendar. That's one of them. And I've gotten addicted to Fireflies.
Okay.
So I love recording the calls and not having
That's
to
great.
write as many notes. Yeah.
It's great. I don't understand why everybody does not. There's plenty of tools out there. We use Fireflies as well. What's
Who
the
is
one
sponsor of the
truth?
show, by the way? Should we talk about Fireflies and the sponsorship?
I was going to save it till the end, but if you want to hit on it right now, go for it. Fireflies. Outwork
Firefly.
sponsors the show, but okay.
Don't fuck up your calls. Fireflies.
There we go. That's a billboard.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
like brevity.
What's a truth about business you didn't believe until you lived it?
How many shady people are out there?
Dude, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
You like that whole nothing personal, it's just business, dude. Oh man, like
I know you've got plenty of stories that I've heard
Yeah.
around that, and we don't have time. You'll be a recurring guest, and we can bring up one or two of those stories next time.
Yeah. All right, we'll leave it there.
Yeah, that's a good one. One person, living or dead, you'd want to have a beer with, and why? This is a cliche question, but I always love to hear people's responses to this.
Oof. Living or dead that I would love to have a beer with. It's. I mean, this is kind of rapid fire. There's so many, dude. I mean, I
know.
like, yeah,
I know. Pick one.
not.
That's a great answer, and I'm hoping that when I continue to ask this question to other people, that's not a name that goes through their
Yeah.
head.
No, I know. The one that I mentioned him earlier, like David Ogilvy. I don't know, man. I that's kind of why I got into like marketing. I mean, he was more of an ad guy. We're more of a marketing guy, but I'd say him. Steve Jobs comes to mind. I mean, dude, there's like so
Yeah.
many people
Yeah.
I would love to meet.
Let me ask you a question because I may be calling you out. Is it Ogilvy or is it Ogilvy?
I think it's Ogilvy, but I'm from the South, and I have a last name. You'd think I would. The irony is I better pronounce things, but
It's all right.
no,
It's all right.
I mispronounce.
I
everything.
love giving you shit for mispronouncing people's names.
Roosevelt.
Yep, Roosevelt. All right. Last one. What is your go-to television show right now that you are watching that you can't wait to end this podcast so you can go throw on an episode of it?
This is nerdy, man. I just started watching the Kissinger thing on PBS.
All right. Did James give you
Documentary.
that one?
No, man. I just have been crushing all these documentaries with my $5.95 add-on to Amazon Prime. And,
That's good.
Yeah, dude. I'm in like this whole season of documentaries. The JFK one
Awesome.
was pretty gnarly too, but yeah, the Kissinger one, it's really good.
I gotta jump in on that one. I think the Cold War one is the one that we've talked about before. That I
The Turning Point ones are fantastic as well. Yeah. How about you? What's the show? What's your recommendation?
Right now, I mean, I just finished Black Rabbit, which was pretty good.
Dude, it was so stressful. Like I could not even watch it.
It was. I'm
But
sure
you-
the next
Give you a
episode I'll have
discount
a
on
different answer.
Xanax
But
with your Netflix subscription when they release something like that.
yeah, it was a good one though. It was a good one. All right,
Should
John.
I see it? All right. I guess
Yeah. You should definitely watch it. Yeah, you haven't watched it?
I know. I got through like the halfway of the first episode, and I was just like, I was getting nervous. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. You can watch it. You got this, John. All right, here we go.
Sure.
How do people find you, John?
You can find me by typing in John, JON, TSOURAKIS, into whatever search engine you want. And you'll probably find a LinkedIn page or something to reach out to me. Or shoot me an email, johnjon@oyova.com. And I love looking for, networking opportunities, sharing deals, sharing referrals, telling good stories, meeting good people. I'll try not to bore you if you promise not to bore me. And love to connect.
That's a wrap of this episode of Life's a Pitch. Big thanks to my friend John for getting real and sharing the shit behind the highlight reel. If you liked it, share it, tell a friend, or just steal something smart that he said and pretend it was yours. And remember, behind every strategy, title, or success story, there is chaos, self-doubt, and a whole lot of trial and error. See you all next time.